Welcome back. You know what that means. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast here on the 13th of August, 2024. I am your host with the most wrestling information, SlimmDa KID, and you are listening to a brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast. Round 2 Wrestling is your number one news source for everything pro wrestling. I have it broken down into 4 rounds. The first round, round 1, is the pro wrestling rumor mill. This is bullshit. This is gossip. It is the rumor mill. It's a lot of fun. Move on to round 2, pro wrestling news. This is confirmed, actual, factual news from accredited writers and sports news authorities. Move on to round 3, which is going to be very short this week. Title matches. I, SlimmDa KID and Round 2 Wrestling have every match result with gold on the line for you to hear firsthand in this brand new Round 2 Wrestling episode. Conclude this brand new podcast with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world you may or may not have known about. We're going to kick things off by listening to the gossip and the bullshit floating around in the world. This is Round 1, the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Lucha Blog notes that AEW's Rey Fénix and Penta El Zero Miedo have been trying to secure new U.S. trademarks like Fuego, Rey Fuego, and King Fuego for Fénix, and Cero Miedo and Zero Miedo for Penta. According to Fightful, TNA's Josh Alexander has been discussed to appear in NXT as part of the crossover with TNA. Fightful Select reports that AEW wanted to re-sign the tag team of the Lucha Bros, but the process kept getting delayed. Several sources told the site that the Lucha Brothers have been telling people they've already had talks with WWE and have a preliminary offer that matches AEW's. Regarding WWE's plan for new announcer Joe Tessitore, Wrestling Observer reports that while he'll start on Raw in September, Tessitore will be moved to SmackDown in January. At that point, Michael Cole will return to call Raw on Netflix. After Kota Ibushi indicated that he will return to AEW when Kenny Omega is back, Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said he doesn't think Kenny's return is, quote, so far away, end quote. Per Fightful Select, Bobby Lashley's WWE contract is set to expire this weekend. This follows reports that MVP's WWE contract expired last weekend. The site also says that Mustafa Ali is indeed done with TNA Wrestling for the time being. According to PW Insider, Joe Hendry's current contract with TNA Wrestling is believed to run through the end of 2025. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE's Brock Lesnar is still not able to be used, quote-unquote, by WWE. He could be a surprise at the Royal Rumble if things change, but as of right now, that wouldn't be able to happen, end quote. That draws to a conclusion. Round 1 in the rumor mill. Without any hesitation, we are going to jump right into round 2. This is Pro Wrestling News. AEW confirms signing the nephew of wrestling legend Dynamite Kid.
Oh my God!
Fightful Selectors reporting that AEW has signed Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington, aka Mark Billington. According to talent close to Tommy, he has been signed by AEW. However, as of this broadcast, his official debut for the company is unknown. WWE NXT reportedly had interest in him as well. However, it appears the 23-year-old talent has signed with AEW instead. Free agent signs exclusive contract with the NWA.
Oh my God!
The National Wrestling Alliance announced that Paul Burchill has signed an exclusive contract with the promotion. Burchill made his NWA debut in 2023 and has been working with them ever since. Paul Burchill previously had a run in WWE from 2005 until 2010. He debuted on the main roster in 2005. Burchill later aligned with Katie Lay, but he ultimately left WWE in 2020. Former WWE wrestler declares free agency.
That's fucking stupid.
Damon Kemp, real name Bobby Stevenson and the brother of Gable Stevenson, signed with WWE in August of 2021. His brother Gable was let go earlier this year as it was reported that he was, quote, not cutting it, end quote, as a pro wrestler. Fightful had reported Kemp's departure was not part of a round of WWE cuts, but rather his deal wasn't renewed. Kemp was considered to be good in the ring for his level of experience, and nobody had anything negative to say. No word if an independent promotion has reached out to Stevenson since his free agency began. One of the most creative minds in pro wrestling passes away.
You what?
Legendary professional wrestler Kevin Sullivan has died at the age of 74. Hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, Sullivan's in-ring career began in the early 1970s. He was best known for his time in WCW, or World Championship Wrestling, and frequently portrayed the heel with memorable feuds against Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, and Chris Benoit. His creative mind was lauded in the industry, creating memorable personas such as the Taskmaster and leading stables including Army of Darkness and Varsity Club. By 1997, Sullivan began to take on booking responsibilities for WCW and was elevated to head booker until the company was sold to WWE in 2000. He remained in the business behind the scenes and worked with TNA Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and independent promotions throughout his career. We here at Round 2 Wrestling wish any family members a heartfelt thank you, and that we hope that the pain of the passing of this wrestling legend goes quickly. Triller TV offers U.S. fans first ever AEW pay-per-view bundle.
You what?
Officially announced on Monday, the former Fight TV is packaging together this month's All In from London's Wembley Stadium with September's All Out from Chicago for the low price of $84.99, a 15% discount from buying the two separately at their $49.99 price point. They also announced plans to offer a triple pack bundle for the final three AEW pay-per-views of the calendar year: October's Wrestle Dream, November's Full Gear, and December's World's End pay-per-views. It's unknown if other AEW pay-per-view providers like Warner Bros. Discovery-owned Bleacher Report, YouTube, and payperview.com will also be able to offer bundled pricing. Former TNA president confirms official return of Canadian-based professional wrestling promotion.
You what?
Scott D'Amore has confirmed his next move. D'Amore announced that he's reviving the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling brand, starting with two events this October. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling will be at St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, Canada on Saturday, October 19th and Sunday, October 20th. The shows are set to air as pay-per-views on Triller TV. Maple Leaf Wrestling originally existed from the 1930s until the 1980s. Footage from the promotion's library will be uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, and other digital platforms as part of the revival. For 6 decades, Maple Leaf Wrestling hosted a who's who of the world's greatest wrestlers, D'Amore said in a press release. Legends like Lou Thez, Bruce Sammartino, Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, and and Rowdy Roddy Piper all competed in Maple Leaf. Now we're bringing that legacy back with modern-day legends from WWE, AEW, TNA, and beyond. That is the end of round 2. We are going to jump right into round 3 title matches. However, warning, this next segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotions and pay-per-views, including results from the RevPro Summer Sizzler pay-per-view, MLW Never Say Never, NXT Great American Bash pay-per-view, AEW Ring of Honor, WWE, TNA, NWA, DEFY, Progress, AAA, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Noah, Stardom, etc., etc. CMLL National Heavyweight Champion Star Black defeated Last Warrior to retain the CMLL National Heavyweight Championship. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions Undisputed Kingdom defeated the Infantry to retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace vs. Rosemary ended in a no contest. TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace retains the championship. Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Champions Dusty Rhodes and the Von Erichs vs. the Gates of Agony went to a no contest. Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Champions Dusty Rhodes and the Von Erichs retain the championships. RevPro Undisputed British Women's Champion Dani Luna defeated Nina Samuels to retain the RevPro Undisputed British Women's Championship. AEW American Champion MJF defeated Michael Oku to retain the AEW American Championship. NWA JCP Southeastern Tag Team Champions The Stew Crew defeated the Miserably Faithful to retain the NWA JCP Southeastern Tag Team titles. WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker defeated Sami Zayn 2-1 in a 2 out of 3 falls match to retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. That is the end of round 3, the shortest round 3 of 2024, swear to God. That leaves plenty of time to move right into round 4, Did You Know? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world you may or may not have known about. You gotta love the bell. Did you know legendary pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter was hired by the WWF in the mid-1990s? His job was to procure old wrestling items like boots, robes, masks, etc. to be used for an actual brick-and-mortar WWF Hall of Fame that was planning to be built. Apter was employed for just 18 months before leaving after Vince McMahon decided against building a brick-and-mortar physical Hall of Fame. Did you know Mike Jones, a.k.a. Virgil, a.k.a. Vincent, a.k.a. Curly Bill, was added to the West Texas Rednecks faction by WCW management due to the fear of the group being labeled as racist. The West Texas Rednecks were getting cheered loudly while acting as heels against Master P and the No Limit Soldiers, who were supposed to be faces. Behind the scenes, the Master P camp suggested the Rednecks were racist, and so Curly Bill was added. Did you know former WCW/WWE/AEW seamstress Sandra Gray was first introduced to pro wrestling by Mark and Rena Marrow? When Marrow was booked to portray the WCW gimmick Johnny B. Bad, Marrow looked in the want ads and hired Gray out of his own pocket to design outfits for himself. Gray was also responsible for creating the iconic blood-dripping outfits that Scott Hall wore. And did you know, immediately after the infamous Montreal Screwjob in November of 1997, WWE made an amendment to Owen Hart's contract. He was already locked in on a 5-year deal, but they increased his downside guarantee by adding an additional $150,000 and also added a unique clause where Owen could opt out of the contract if he felt his push was substantially decreased. That is the end of Round 2 Wrestling. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast.